Good morning, everybody. It's a pretty morning today. Now, I was feeling a bit bored, so I figured let me do a live stream. What's up, Matrix Media? What's up, Art? What's up, Ron Hagberg? Is it Hagberg? Yeah. What's up, James Thomas? Well, it was just confirmed to me that my decision to name my channel Red Pill Philosophy 6-7 years ago, back in 2012, apparently that was really bad for business. Hey, Julie. Thank you. God, fuck yous. Thank you. What's up, Ute? Yes, naming my channel Red Pill Philosophy turned out to be a terrible business strategy, even though it wasn't really a business strategy. It's just what I named it because I like the name and it's what I'm interested in. Well, it turns out now, new expose by Project Veritas, the realest news you can find. I mean, if you want to talk about real news, Project Veritas is like top-notch real news. Basically, everything you see on television is like fake news, right? But Project Veritas is like actually real news. So it's just really crazy how like there's actually real news out there. But you won't find any real news on television. You can't find any real news on television. So Project Veritas did an expose and they interviewed a Facebook insider, somebody on the inside. And they've been working there in the last couple years during the massive big tech censorship crisis. And the Facebook insider discovered through her work at Facebook, the Facebook insider, fucked yous, $10 super, sorry. It like legalized. Okay, thank you. And the Facebook insider has revealed a whole slew of stunning revelations. And in this expose, they discovered that some engineer guy who works for Facebook had a glossary of terms that they associate with the alt-right or with basically anyone who disagrees with the white liberal big tech tyrannical agenda. And again, I want to apologize for the 57 people who somehow joined the live stream within like 10 seconds and then suddenly the viewer count halts. I want to apologize. Within a minute, it halts. Again, this is what we're discussing here today, guys. We're discussing big tech censorship algorithms. So this is a very fitting subject. But it was found that the Facebook engineer had created a glossary of terms that are algorithmically designed to be triggered. And one of the words in this Facebook engineer's glossary was the phrase red pill. And the Facebook engineer defines the term red pill as the alt-right version of woke. the alt-right a version of woke. This is an actual like Facebook employee working for Facebook. And he has a whole list of terms that the alt-right uses. And not even alt-right, just people who aren't like slaves to mega corporations with no souls. So Facebook Insider reveals that Facebook, and I don't know if this was already implemented or if it was written down and something they wanted to implement, but they basically said, yeah, the word red pill, if that word is used in a Facebook post or video, the algorithm, this is literally in the documents, in this new expose, if you have the phrase red pill in your Facebook post or video or whatever it is, or even your comments, the Facebook algorithm is then designed to literally to fuck around with your account. So the Facebook algorithm, if you use a term like red pill, the Facebook algorithm will now do micro annoyances to prevent you from posting on Facebook. And it's funny because this is something I've noticed while I'm doing stuff on YouTube. I'll notice weird little things, like the live stream will cut off for no reason. You guys have seen that happen to me live many times. Well, in the leaked Facebook documents, it said that anybody who uses these trigger words like red pill, a series of things will be triggered to your Facebook account, including reduced bandwidth. Reduced bandwidth. If you're on Facebook and you use the word red pilled on a comment or a post or a video, the algorithm will reduce your bandwidth. Does that sound familiar, guys? That kind of sounds like when my live streams cut out for literally no reason. Reduced bandwidth. What was the other one? There was another one. Oh, if you try to post a comment, the comment will magically not post. And it's like this thing where they have an algorithm, and because they don't want to be caught censoring you, they use these micro annoyances to de-incentivize you from posting comments, videos, and content on Facebook. Imagine that. Reduced limited bandwidth for triggering the algorithm. And by the way, of course, Jose, with a Facebook insider who leaked it all. This is a Facebook insider who was leaking this stuff. Facebook even has a system that can listen to the audio content of your videos, and it can transcribe what you're saying into text transcripts, and then it can analyze your transcripts and determine if you're saying anything hateful. And of course, nowadays, hate speech really just means anything that threatens ultra mega corporations. And nothing says liberal like stifling the voices of people who disagree with mega corporations. I mean, that's liberal, dude. Like, don't be a racist and just be a liberal and support mega corporations. Support Starbucks. Don't be a racist. Buy Starbucks coffee. Don't be a racist and buy Starbucks coffee. So really fascinating. And literally the name of my channel is Red Pill Philosophy. That's the, that's the name of my channel. So the channel name has a phrase in it that over on Facebook triggers the censorship algorithm. Imagine that. And come on, you don't think that they're learning from each other? You don't think big tech is learning from the other companies on how to censor the human soul and spirit? Like, don't be a racist. Buy Starbucks coffee. Hey, mind of God. Hey, what's up, man? Yeah, I mean, high IQ skepticism and just like, and that's the thing. Like, mind of God says, "What's up, skeptic?" And it's like, yeah, I mean, it's like the mind of God is like super high Q because like, just think about it. We're talking about like the mind of God. Like, I mean, can you just imagine how high IQ the mind of God must be? Like, that's got to be like, the highest on the face of the planet, right? Easy, like easy, easy. So, yeah, I mean, and then, I mean, if you add a little skepticism to that, I mean, you have just a recipe here for ultimate, destruction in a good way. Let's double check there. Okay, so yeah. Oh wow. So yeah, new expose reveals Facebook's censorship algorithm targeting algorithmically the phrase red pill or red pilled, calling it the alt-right version of woke. Someone says I told my brother about flat earth today. And what happened? He disowned you? I don't know why people are disowning skeptics. There's this war on skepticism that really breaks my heart to see the war on skepticism. The Globers are waging war on skepticism. The atheists, they're just waging war on skeptics. And it's shocking. It's really shocking what I've witnessed. Andrew Torba's appearance on Joe Rogan finally convinced me to start a Gab account. Andrew Torba was on fucking Joe Rogan podcast? Really? I'm surprised by that. Is this something new? Old? I don't remember hearing about that. So, yeah, I mean, talk about bad business strategy. So you have to wonder if literally just the name Red Pill Philosophy, my YouTube channel, you have to wonder if YouTube has some type of similar censorship shadow banning algorithm. You really got to wonder. And I've noticed over the last year and a half that using the word censorship in a video title is a guarantee instant demonetization and shadow banning. I've noticed it. And that's why a lot of times when I use the word censorship in a video title, I put a little asterisks, like a censorship asterisk in one of the letters. And sometimes I've actually found that it removes the demonetization. If you censor the word censorship, you don't get demonetized. It's happened to me a few times. It's really fucking funny and ironic. Man, it's hot, I gotta say. So maybe I should change my channel name. What do you guys say? You think I should change my channel name? That would be interesting. Change my channel name, because obviously, you know, this corporate discrimination, it's, you just like, wow, you know, this is the modern day civil rights crisis, you know. um, this is discrimination, you know. Like, I'm just so shocked because there's so many people who call themselves liberals who just like, they're just like, yeah, let's just censor anybody we disagree with, like the Nazi book burners, you know. It's like shocking. Like modern day liberals, they're literally like, yeah, like, let's discriminate with people we don't like and disagree with. Like, I was like, whoa, that was shocking. I was like, because, you know, I was taught in public school that, you know, we have to be tolerant, you know, like, you know, Martin Luther King, you know, like Rosa Parks, like tolerance. This is what I was like taught, like, you know, like in school. Like, I didn't know the rules. I didn't know they changed the rules. Someone had a big meeting and changed the rules. Now a liberal means psycho, power hungry, maniac, mental patient who beats women up on the streets for disagreeing with them, like that guy who roundhouse kicked a girl for supporting for being pro-life. I mean, that's literally just like that's what it is now. It's just like, that's basically liberalism today. Just roundhouse kicking women for disagreeing with them. That's liberalism. That's what it means to be a liberal Democrat. Just beat people up. Just beat their asses. So I think there's been a little bit of a bait and switch. Oh, that's a great name. Someone in the chat says, Jay Smith says, change your channel name to Mr. Professor Skeptic. Wow. Wow, stunning. Wow, man, like, that's wow. Wow. But that's a great name. Mr. Professor Skeptic. I mean, wow. We all know that's going to get put on the trending tab. Right, guys? That's going to be on the trending tab every day. You call yourself Mr. Professor Skeptic? Oh, yeah, that's great. I'm changing it to Mr. Professor Skeptic. I mean, I've always liked Mr. Skeptic Proves the Globe. I was really a big fan of that one, Mr. Skeptic Proves the Globe. That always seemed like a good one. But Mr. Professor Skeptic is also really good. That's a really great one. I love that. Wow. And, you know, that would be like, you know, that would be a liberal name, you know. That would be like not a racist name, you know. Unfortunately, even if I do change my channel name, guys, you know, they still have the audio algorithm that will track what I say. So, unless I have every buzzword on list of censored. Mr. Professor Skeptic. I mean, yeah, stunning and brave. Wow, incredible. Someone says glitchy. Well, yeah, that was part of the revelations in the new Facebook expose. The revelations showed that if you use the word like red pilled, the Facebook algorithm will automatically limit your bandwidth. So that probably means, like, if you're doing a live stream on Facebook, like, your bandwidth will go to shit. Like, the quality of your stream will be shut down. It's just incredible. So I'm sure right now this stream is being, cut down because it's basically been admitted now that they're censoring anything they don't like. So I'm actually shocked. So guys, how a few times in the middle of my live streams, I'll lose like 50% or more of my viewers. It'll literally just 50% of my live viewers will be chopped away. That sounds like the limited bandwidth algorithm that was recently exposed Facebook is using. Yeah. So and you got to wonder if, YouTube is using something similar. And, it's not my fault that this is all over the news. So yeah, that's what they admitted. So I was really surprised that a Facebook insider has come out and admitted that they have these deboost, and they're only doing it on like conservative channels and pages. So yeah, it's just like racist discrimination. But that's liberal. That's liberal. So there it is. Motherfucking locusts up in this bitch the other day. Straight up locusts. Straight up fucking locusts. Yeah, I know somebody who told me that they haven't been getting notifications for my recent live streams. They just don't really get them anymore. So they're just like, yeah, so. Yeah, but I mean, that's what you do when you're YouTube and you claim in your advertising and your branding that you're about you're about every people, everybody, every individual having a voice. And then you start, just crushing people's voices without telling them. It seems like a bad business model, let alone misleading kind of advertising, but that's what that is. Oh, Dr. Professor Skeptic. That's even better. Wow, I didn't think about. Oh, no. I got a better one. Dr. Professor Skeptic PhD. That would be on the homepage of YouTube. They would put that as the ad at the top of the homepage. Yeah, if I change my that's amazing, guys. If I change my channel name to Dr. Professor Skeptic PhD, I mean, like they would just put my channel as the ad at the top of the homepage. I mean, incredible. Wow, you guys are something amazing, man. Wow, this is wow. This is great. Wow, dude. Yeah, that's a great point because for anybody just tuned in, yeah, it's recent Facebook expose, real news. Of Facebook expose it showed that Facebook is targeting the phrase red pill, and they're censoring it algorithmically, shadow banning it. So like having like red pill in your channel name is a really bad, like it's a really bad, really bad. So don't say the word censorship either, because that's also racist. So don't say censorship. You will lose a ton. You won't have any live viewers if you use the word censorship too much. Like censorship, like YouTube censorship. YouTube censorship. YouTube is censoring. Um, YouTube censors. YouTube censorship. Just censoring of censoring censorship. Just like censoring with censorship, because they're just like censoring. It's like censorship, like censoring. But that's liberal. That's liberal. That's liberalism. That's what it means to be a liberal. Like censorship. Like, oh look, they're doing censorship now. Like, look, they're censoring, and then what they're censoring is like censorship. I'm trying to see if I can chop my viewer count in half by repeating the word censorship. Um, so yeah, but like I said, guys, I might change the name of my channel to Tranny Tutorials, Tranny Makeup Tutorials. But I gotta do that. I really have to start a new channel and name it something. Just don't even, just as a test, just name it something. That won't be censored. Like maybe I'll create a channel called just like fucking progressive you know progressive Obama makeup. I think that's a good one. Progressive Obama makeup. Yeah. I think if I made a YouTube channel called Progressive Obama Makeup, and it's just like makeup, I think because it's progressive, like it'll be on the trending tab every single day. Like every day, it'll be on the trending tab. Yeah, someone says trans Latinx tutorials. That's a really good one too. Trans Latinx tutorials. Trans Latinx tutorials. That's a great one. That's a good business model. That's a great business model. You can't go wrong with trans Latinx tutorials. Yeah, because that's a great business model. You see, when I started my YouTube channel back in 2012, and I called it Red Pill Philosophy, I didn't think that YouTube would go against its stated mission, its mission statement. It's still out there. You can go see their mission statement: to liberate the human voice. We believe that everyone should have a voice. We believe that, people should be allowed to speak their mind without big TV networks and technology limiting them. So when I started my YouTube channel back in 2012, I was like, oh, YouTube, YouTube is actually, it's a place where you get to speak your mind, and you don't get your voice ripped out of you because a bunch of white privileged liberals in Silicon Valley disagree. So I was like, oh shit, I'll just call it Red Pill Philosophy. But I didn't know that in a few years, and maybe this is just a coincidence, but while Susan Wojcicki, the feminist, was running YouTube, she probably just happened to be there at the worst time. I didn't know that, they were gonna just censor people and ideas that they didn't like. I didn't know that was like they were gonna do that. So it's funny how that works. I probably should start a new channel from scratch. Really, really, I really should. Because the censorship algorithm is just, there's so many leaks and new stories and insiders speaking out every day now, practically. And they're all coming out and they're all saying, yep, we work for Facebook, we work for Twitter, and yeah, we have shadow banning in place, and we target people that disagree with the mega corporate liberals. So it's like, yeah, it's just like crazy. So yeah, someone says my like button is broken. That wouldn't surprise me. A lot of videos on YouTube now, the view count doesn't work. It's like falling apart or something. So yeah, it was but I still say, you know, if you want to start a new YouTube channel, just make sure it's like super progressive, and like you're gonna, I mean, just by getting favored by the algorithm, you know, you're gonna get like, you know, just incredible boosts. But like if you're not that, then it completely changes it. If that's not even what it is, then you're probably going to see a vicious censorship. You're probably going to see a massive amount of algorithmic discrimination, if that's what you want to call it. So it's kind of ridiculous, but it's what they've been doing, and there's a reason why we have to call it. What was the name? Trans Latinx tutorials. No, Trans Latinx makeup. That's a great one. Trans Latinx makeup. But I also like Dr. Professor Skeptic PhD. that one takes the cake. I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna name it Dr. Professor Skeptic PhD. That one's fantastic. Exactly. So that's what it is, and that's what they do. But you know, literally, just think of it from that perspective. They're gonna keep it, and again, they admitted it. Look it up. It's a new report from Project Veritas, which, by the way, is real news. Project Veritas is actually real, because you have fake news, and there's a bunch of fake news out there, and you're going to find mostly fake news on television. But look at the real news. Look at the real news out there. And Project Veritas did an incredible report, and they actually say it. They interviewed a Facebook insider, and she basically came out. She came out and she leaked it. She leaked it. And she said, yeah, Facebook has censorship algorithms in place. They have them in place to go after it. So, and I'm not going to say I was surprised. I'm not going to say I was shocked when the word red pill, the phrase red pill, was in the documents. I'm not going to say I was surprised. But to actually see it there in writing, and for them to say, oh, look, this exact phrase will trigger, quote, de-boosting. That's the internal word for it. De-boosting is the internal word for it. De-boosting. And the de-boosting triggers a few things. One of the things it triggers is that, well, they called it a bandwidth reduction. Bandwidth reduction? Exactly. Yeah, so imagine that. Imagine a bandwidth reduction for triggering a simple thing. Triggering a simple thing. Imagine that. And it's not just that. They had comments won't load. So you can type a comment, and if you have the word red pill or something in there, yeah, free man liberty says obey your masters. Exactly. You try to type a comment in, and the comment won't load. Imagine that shit. So just because you trigger the shadow banning algorithm, you won't have comments that load. You will have your bandwidth reduced, which again, you guys have watched my live streams many times before, and you've seen it. You've absolutely seen it. You've seen when I'll be doing a live stream and my freaking connection gets chopped off for absolutely no reason. Now, when Facebook insiders come out and they actually literally are saying that you will get a reduction in bandwidth, what are you going to do? What the hell are you going to freaking do about it? Every time. So it's like, what the fuck? And there was a few other algorithmic little points that they would tag on other than that. I think one of them was just a straight up delisting. Just straight up delisting. just I mean, at that point, that's not even shadow banning. You know what I'm saying? So, it's a joke, but this is what we're dealing with because they don't like it. And that's what it means to be a liberal nowadays. That's what it means to be a liberal. To be a liberal is to support the big tech Nazi book burners. Yeah, exactly. We need more free public forums. Well, I mean, you've got like things like Speaker's Corner, like Speaker's Corner, which is over there in Britain. And that is literally a free speech public forum in public. But that's the thing. You'd think as liberals, these companies that love to describe themselves as liberals, you'd think that they would allow you to speak your mind on the internet. But they basically have. So it's like, what do? You can always go out into the streets. And you can talk to people in person. Free Man Liberty says cutting off. Well, hopefully hopefully they're not reducing the bandwidth, as they call it. Here, let me step out into the sun. Maybe this shelter was cutting off signal a little bit. Let me move over here. I got the wind now. Got the wind up in this bitch. So you could head out to the streets. All right, looks like it's better now. Thank you, guys. You could head out to the streets and talk to people out in public, which is effective. And you know what? It might even be more effective than talking to people online. Because I think when you're in person, there's a certain impact that you have when you talk in person, and it's completely different from what happens when you're kind of live streaming or trying to reach people over the internet. You could argue that talking to one person in person is probably more effective than talking to 200 people live. Yeah, DMT Matrix. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. So that's kind of the paradox here, is that you could, if you really wanted to, you could probably shut down your entire channel, shut down all your social media pages, shut them all down, and just go talk to people in person, and you would probably have a way bigger impact, a way bigger reach, if you went about it that way. I have no doubts about that. I think it's absolutely possible. But I say double the impact. If you're going to go out and you're going to try to reach people in person in an attempt to bypass the censorship algorithms, you should still probably record it all. You should still probably record it all, and then you can post it online. So, you have these really interesting conversations with real people in person, and then you can post it to social media sites. Yeah, it might get censored, but you can still put it out there, and it'll probably reach people in its own way. Absolutely. And that's one thing I've really been thinking about doing. Really just going out in person, because you know what? It's really hard to censor people in person. Like, how do you shadow ban somebody in person? Serious question. How do you shadow ban somebody in person? Because, a lot of times that's one of the silliest parts about this whole, censorship, Facebook, YouTube algorithm thing. Someone says people put masks on in public. Well, you certainly can't be a shy person in public. And who is that? Dre Day, social pressure, I guess. Well, it depends. I think if you're talking about something that you're passionate about, I think you're naturally gonna be compelled to go out and do it. You're not gonna really care. I think as long as it's backed up by a certain amount of passion, you can probably talk about anything. But when you're going out trying to, if you're like trying to sell knives or something, and you gotta like summon the energy to talk about something you have no interest in, then you're probably gonna have some trouble getting it out there. You're probably gonna have some trouble being passionate and persuasive. And I say that even with something as polarizing as flat Earth, because you're obviously going to bump into a lot of people who disagree. You're going to bump into a lot of people who completely disagree. That's undeniable. There's going to be a bunch of people who are like, "Yeah, you think the Earth is flat? You're crazy. Where's your evidence?" And what are you going to do about it? What the hell are you going to even do about it? You can try to persuade them. Some people will probably get butthurt. Hang on, I think we got a $5 super chat. Hold up. Happy Toes, $5 super chat says, "I'd rather talk to people anonymous over the internet. People true colors come out online." Well, that's actually an interesting point. Maybe you could argue that over the internet, you're getting a much more realistic understanding and perception of people. You could argue that. And maybe by engaging them over the internet, maybe you're cutting straight to the core. Because, in person, a lot of people are going to want to try to be polite. They're not going to want to try to go out of their way too much to tell you their true feelings. Shit. You go up to somebody in person and you tell them, "Hey, where's your proof we live on a spinning space ball?" And what do you think's going to happen? In person, they might want to tell you to go fuck yourself, but how many people are actually going to say that? People want to be polite. People want to be polite. So it's like, maybe in a way, because of the anonymity of the internet, maybe you are kind of reaching people way more and way better. It's something to think about, because at least then you're cutting to the core. You're cutting to the core of what people actually think, and so you're kind of cutting out the bullshit. I'm sure there's pros and cons, and you know what? From that reason, for that reason alone, you can kind of think of it like, that's exactly why so many people love the internet. That's why so many people, sign up for forums, have Facebook accounts. So there's an undeniable power. God's child says, "I won the debate with a globe earther, he couldn't prove. Yeah, well, that's what happens, bro. That's exactly what happens. Um, it's not even. What's up, Ranty? We got Ranty Flat Earth up in this bitch. Ranty has some fantastic P1000 observations, by the way, guys. Absolutely fantastic P1000 observations. Be sure to check them out, y'all. Did I say subscribe to Ranty? Did I say subscribe to Ranty Flat Earth yet? Well, look, I've said it before and I'll say it again. There's, yeah, shout out to Cynical Skeptic as well. I've said it before and I'll say it again. It's not hard to, yeah, no problem, Ranty. It's not hard to beat especially sort of the mainstream globers, the ones who kind of believe it, not because they care or because they're deeply committed to it, but just because it's what they were born and raised to believe in. It's the default operating program that they're kind of running on. Super chat from, hang on, let me pull up the super chat menu. Yeah, super chat from in Truth by Grace, $5 super chat. I admire your Earth, truth's direction. Keep up the good work, man. Do not get discouraged. Oh, thank you. Really appreciate that. Well, it's hard to get discouraged by globetards. And you know, I don't even mean the average globetard, because I was once a globetard too. And you know, I that's what most people are. Most people think they live on a spinning ball with no evidence. It's just the default thing. It's the default position. So it's not even like an insult to call somebody a complete flat earther, because even if you're a complete flat earther, at least you've looked into the question. And that's why I say, if you go out in public and you still think you live on a spinning ball and you're a die-hard globe defender, put a paper bag over your head, because that shit is so embarrassing. Put a paper bag over your head, please. Please, because it's embarrassing. And so, yeah, when you're dealing with online, the globers can be very aggressive, because they're butthurt as hell, because you're questioning their religion. And a lot of them do happen to be atheists, but the atheists, a lot of atheists, I mean, how many atheists out there don't believe in space? I mean, it's probably pretty rare. And in all fairness, not a lot of people believe in space. Or rather, a lot of people believe in space, but not a lot of people question it. Very few people question the spinning space ball model. The mind of God says, walk outside and take a look. Look around. Well, yeah, exactly. It's really not difficult. Dire Wolf says the vacuum of space is fake news. I bet it is. I absolutely bet it is. DMT Matrix says gravity. Exactly. And it's funny because they like to mock it and they like to call it dropity, because that's the flat earther version of gravity. They like to call it dropity. But give me a break. Really? Seriously? you wanna mock the term, but the truth is that even mainstream science admits they don't know what the hell gravity is. So for all intents and purposes, you might as well call gravity dropity too. After all, and this is a big after all, We have more evidence of dropity than we have gravity. Because gravity is pulled to the center of mass. We never see that or have proof of that. There's more proof of dropity, things just falling to the ground no matter where you are on Earth, than there is proof of gravity, mass attracting mass. And that's just the facts. That's just the straight up simple facts. I mean, it's not even a question. I the way I see it, anybody who denies that there's more experiential proof for dropity than there is for gravity, well, obviously, that's the case. There's no way around it. Now, you might want to argue that there's Cavendish, and well, that's why the moon doesn't fly off into space because it's being, held in by the Earth's orbit. Yeah, a lot of speculation, a lot of speculation. But I can fly on a plane halfway around the globe, the so-called globe. I can fly halfway around the globe, and I will never see or field curvature. And by field curvature, because some people don't understand that, by field curvature, I mean, if you're on a roller coaster and the thing goes like this, like a curve, a curve, really simple. See, curve. So not a lot, nobody experiences that. When you get on a plane, this is what you experience. Runway, 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 up, level out. You can fly 20 hours. You can fly 20 hours in a flight. And you're never going to feel this. You're just going to see, you're going to look out your window, you're going to see flat, you're going to feel level flight. And then when you finally get to your destination, then this happens. When you land. Never, ever, ever feel curvature. Now, you never see it either. Now, I understand you guys will say, oh, but it's so gradual that as you go around the globe gradually, it's a subtle thing, so you won't notice it. That's my point. You never feel curve. You never see curve. It's really, really simple. You never feel curve. You never see curve. So the utter lack of curvature, the utter lack of seeing it or feeling it, really just, you have to be like, okay, well, that means that when I drop something and it falls, I have no experiential proof or evidence, nothing I've ever witnessed, to suggest that when I drop something, it needs to be going at a different angle because I'm on a different part of the globe. You never see that. You never experience that. You never see that. You never experience that. So there's, they make fun of dropity, but there's no reason to think that dropity is wrong or that it's not a decent observation of things. And of course, I wouldn't call it dropity because obviously that's like a silly fucking smear word to try to take a shit on flat earthers. But dropity, what people really mean by it is that when you let go of things, it falls to the ground. Really simple, not complicated. So yeah, it makes perfect sense. Can't see curve, can't feel curve. Flat baby. Flat baby. Flat baby. And that's it. Now, on the other hand, you start, if you want to entertain the presupposition of gravity, if you want to entertain that presupposition, because it was theorized long before it was proven. So by definition, it's a presupposition. I mean, if you haven't scientifically proven that gravity exists, but Newton is already theoretically, hang on, let me cover my mic, the wind's blowing. With Newton, he theoretically concocted gravity. So by definition, gravity is a presupposition. Now you might try to argue that Cavendish proves it, which is fine. You can say that if you want. Um, but now you're going to start getting into whether or not Cavendish is actually legit, valid scientific proof, and that's when you start getting yourself into trouble. Let me double check the super chats here. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Back to live chat. So, yeah, literally, that's what it's basically all about. It's just like total presuppositions, and that's what the globe is, guys. I hate to say it. But it's a global presupposition. That's what it is. That's what the spinning space ball model is. A global presupposition. They've been presupposing it for 2,500 years. It's literally an ancient assumption. And you really have to scratch your head sometimes and wonder, what are the odds that they would have presupposed this without any real good evidence for it 2,500 years ago, and that they would have had it right? What are the odds? I don't buy it. DMT Matrix says firmament is real. Well, that's one of the theories, isn't it? One of the theories that there's a firmament, but I guess it'd be nice to go up there and find out, wouldn't it? I think maybe if we go up there and we find out and we can prove it with certainty, maybe then we're onto something. But for now, that's a lot of presuppositions. Now, you might think there needs to be a dome because of the second law of thermodynamics question. And you kind of can't blame people. You can't blame people for thinking that they live on a flat Earth with a dome, just when you look into the second law of thermodynamics. That's literally all you have to look into. Second law of thermodynamics. How do you have gas pressure without a container? And you have to ask yourself, then maybe there's a fucking dome. And a lot of people will be like, well, there's a density gradient. There's a pressure gradient. So that proves the ball. You don't need a dome to preserve the second law of thermodynamics if you have a density gradient. Now who buys that? How about this? How do you have a density gradient? How do you have a pressure gradient without a container? Simple. How do you have a pressure gradient without a container? In fact, I mean, just look, it's such a straw, man. And that's basically all they have. All they have are a bunch of straws. And it's also another classic example of the burden of proof reversal. Because that's all the globe has. I've said it, that's all the globe has. All the globe has is, well, how do you explain green grass on a globe, on a flat Earth? How do you explain vultures flying on a flat Earth? Dude, that's impossible. How do you explain clouds on a flat Earth? That's all they have. All they have is burden of proof reversal. Their ivory tower, finger wagging, naysaying of anybody who goes against the consensus, and they put the burden of proof on you. When that's just, unfortunately, it's not how it works, especially when they've gotten so many basics wrong. So how about this? If you have some type of pressurized can of like a spray paint, a density gradient forms in the can of spray paint. A density gradient forms in a can of spray paint. I'm not even kidding you. So the it's not so much that the density gradient debunks the dome or second law of thermodynamics argument that flat earthers use. It's more that literally it's the way things will settle within a pressurized system. So you have a pressurized system. You have something like a spray can. You have something where a container has gas, it has liquids. Shit, it could even have material. It could have you can put something put something solid. Put something solid inside the spray can. And if it's dense enough, it will sink to the bottom. You will have a density gradient inside a pressurized can of spray paint, let's say. Simple, really simple. Pressurized can of spray paint, you will have it. So there's nothing about a pressure gradient that suggests that there's no A, that there's no dome, B, that there's no container to Earth, and C, that this somehow debunks the flat earther argument about the second law of thermodynamics. There's literally nothing about it. There's nothing about it. And I mean, you know, flat earthers are always arguing about density and buoyancy. A pressure gradient inside of an enclosed flat Earth system is entirely within the flat Earth argument, the mainstream flat Earth argument about buoyancy and density. Things naturally settle by their density. And I say, you know what? Why not sprinkle in a little universal downward force in there? Why not? Why not do that? A little bit of downward force. It's how it's done in simulations. Elon Musk, certified smart man, says we live in a simulation. It's really, really simple. It's really, really simple. So that's about it. And yeah, what else needs to be said? It's always straw man arguments, and it's always these ham-fisted burden of proof reversals every single time. Ham-fisted burden of proof reversals every single time. And it just doesn't add up, and it just doesn't make any sense. And the most important part of all is that it doesn't hold up to the scrutiny. If you're a globe skeptic, you know, like me and like so many of my viewers, and you know, like the mind of God right up there in the chat. Mind of God in the chat says all praises to our Heavenly Father. And you know, I've never considered myself Christian, but you know, you got to wonder sometimes when you read the Bible and it's talking about geocentric, flat, stationary, firmament above heads. You just have to wonder. I mean, and that's the thing. Nowhere in the Bible does it say that, you know, there's other planets with life. So if you're coming from the biblical perspective and you believe your Bible literally, then what the hell are you gonna do? What the hell are you gonna do? Todd the Tornado says, so what religion do you follow? None. I don't affiliate with any religion right now. Not a single one. I do not affiliate with any religion. But you know, anything's possible, right? Anything's freaking possible. Oh, it's a beautiful day, I have to say. Todd Le Tornado says, so are you an atheist? No, I'm not an atheist. What's wrong with you, bro? Come on, bro. Don't be retarded. There was some atheist globetard the other day. I don't remember who it was. And he was doing a video about me. And he was butthurt because I said that I don't believe, because I said I'm a globe skeptic. So I don't think it's round and I don't think it's flat. And he got butthurt that I don't jump to conclusions. He got butthurt that I don't jump to one side or the other. So because I'm a measured, tempered, rational person who's not jumping to either camp, and I'm looking at the evidence to guide me, that's a bad thing, because atheism is a religion. Newsflash, breaking news, it's a cult. Atheism is a religion cult. Bunch of random ducks. It's really weird looking ducks here in this pond, this lake. They're like completely black colored, but they have little white beaks. Like, what the hell? What the hell is that? Yep. Yep. And remember, guys, most important of all, don't be a racist. Don't be a racist. Of course, nowadays, a racist is any white person who doesn't sell their kids to slavery. So obviously, we're not going to let the liberal definition, the corporate liberal Democrat definition of racism, define what we actually know racism is. I feel like going for a walk through the freaking bushes over there, but last time I did, there's like an army of massive locusts. An army of massive locusts up in that bitch. I'm talking about flying cricket-looking demons from hell. I was walking through there the other day, and you just hear this little helicopter propeller sound just spurt by, and then it, just like with a slap, it lands on a freaking leaf right next to me, and it's just staring at me, this creature. And there was a few of those motherfuckers, so it was like, all right, let's get the fuck, let's get out of here. Fucking locusts. A82 says no thanks, huh? Yeah, exactly. No thanks, exactly. Yeah, it's like no, like no. Like no. No. Say no to locusts. Fucking creatures. Anyways, all right. Thank you guys for tuning in. Random impromptu live stream talking about YouTube censorship and the crazy revelations. Once this video is processed, I'm going to put a link in the description, and you guys can check out the Project Veritas report. Okay, guys, I'll talk to you